Okay, Russ Faden has been a Subway franchisee since 2007, a short 5 years, but has acquired or opened 11 locations in that time. Crazy. Russ currently has 8 open shops. So thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me.
First question, are you a full-time police officer with a part-time job of owning 8 Subways or vice versa?
It's funny because a lot of people always ask me that, like, how do you do both? I'm obviously a full-time police officer and a full-time Subway franchisee at the same time. Luckily, we have a very good team, so it makes it easy to balance both. Again, if we didn't have the people that we do, I wouldn't be able to do both. So it's a combination of both, and the guys I work with appreciate it because they get a 50% discount. So
Nice.
They're happy with that.
Excellent. Does your wife think that you're crazy?
Yes. A lot of my friends think I'm crazy, and because every time I talk to them, they're like, okay, how many do you have now? It goes from 2, 4, now we're up to 8. And they say, okay, when are you gonna stop? And I say, not for a while.
So, are there plans for 9 or 10 or do you have goals set for the number?
Yeah, I mean, there's no set amount, but again, as long as we keep developing the way we do, and again, each week we work on our structure and how we do things, and we're pretty comfortable where we're at now, so we're just gonna kind of keep moving forward.
Nice.
So, and it kind of keeps the team excited too.
Because they never know what's coming next.
Yes. And my wife loves that too.
That's awesome. Yeah. What originally made you decide to get into Subway?
I've been eating Subway for like 15 years. And about 5 years ago, I wanted to get into business. I wasn't sure what, where, how. I always ate Subway, so I got online, did the research. I met with you. I believe it was in Clifton Park. I met you to get your blessing, and it kind of went from there. I mean, it started for me liking the food, then I liked the model, and I like kind of, I went to Subway every day, and I liked it, so I'm like, it seems like a good fit. I didn't know anything before I bought it, nothing about restaurant business, nothing, just jumped in and figured it out.
Now, were there any other restaurants that you were looking at other than Subway?
Yes, Quiznos was one of them. Thank God I didn't go with them.
Yeah.
It was really just you guys and Quiznos.
Okay.
And it worked out well because I believe Denny Geyer called me at one point, said the one that was like 100 feet from where I work was for sale. So it kind of made sense. It was right in my hometown, and it was convenient because I had to work from midnight to 8 with the PD, and I work at Subway all day.
Yeah. Do you sleep?
Much better now.
Good. But at the start, was there a lot of...
Yeah, so I literally would work all night with the PD, then I would work Subway during the day. It took about 3 or 4 months to learn the business inside and out. Then we started having managers, and our role kind of changed a little bit.
Nice.
But in the beginning it was tough, but just like anything else, if it's not hard, it's not worth doing.
Amen. When it comes to business, do you have any particular role models?
Like any particular people?
Either any people, or was there someone that you remember when you were either in school or someone in your family that was really driven and you said, I want to be like that person?
Nobody in particular when I was growing up, but more that I kind of get into the business world. I like people that, take chances, but take, educated chances. I like people that kind of think outside the box. I like people that are team oriented. I can't think of anybody in particular that I would say.
So you're nothing wrong with being an original. You don't have to model yourself after anyone. So, you were just talking about some personality traits. I know. Is it in your system? Do you call your managers leaders, store leaders? Is that what they're called? Or are they called store managers?
Store leaders.
Store leaders.
Yeah, and again, it's something that comes back to this is just our train of thought, but managers are people that you have to listen to because they said, hey, I'm doing this because I'm your boss. But leaders, people will follow leaders and they'll do more for you. And we kind of try to instill every store leader that we have, we give them the, we want them to think of the store as theirs, have ownership in it. So this is yours. We give them responsibilities, and a lot of times if you give them that ownership and responsibility, you'll get a lot more back. We don't try to micromanage. I mean, we oversee everything, but we want people to say, this is your store, what do you think? You're in there more than myself or Nikki or a few other people that help oversee it. What do you think? And a lot of times you get good feedback from them, and if you input, some of their ideas, a lot of times it'll get them more motivated.
Nice.
So yeah.
So you mentioned Nikki. So for those people that are watching, you should explain who Nikki is.
Nicole Carolan now. She is our director of operations. She oversees all 8 stores. So her role's kind of changed over the years too, because she was kind of a store leader, area leader. Now she's kind of not really working in the stores, but she does a lot of she holds a lot of our Thursday morning meetings. She's our tech person.
Nice.
Yeah, she's very good with that kind of stuff. But she just kind of helps keep the team together, keep their, helps them with their goals, just kind of helps everything kind of similar to what you do for the whole territory.
Nice. So there's Nikki, and now what would be the next layer below her?
So John Doty is a area leader for our 4 southern stores, so to speak. And then Jen Kaufman is kind of the area leader for the 4 that are up north.
Nice.
And we're kind of lucky because both pockets of stores are real close to each other. So both John and Jen oversee one of their stores individually, but they help with the other 3 as well.
Oh, good.
And that's worked out good because we do have a pretty strong team, and they're so close that it didn't make sense to have one person just designated to all 4, and Nikki can also fill in as needed.
So you've got director of ops, then you've got 2 area managers. Are there managers in every store?
Yes.
And are there assistants in every store?
Most stores,
Okay.
yes. Most stores have assistants, and we actually have one floating leader as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, one of our guys was he's in the National Guard. He's gone for a while, came back,
Nice.
and that role fit in well for him. So he kind of helps out with the other stores if they're having issues in the mornings, nights. So it's kind of one extra person that could run his own store.
Yeah.
But he can help out everybody else.
That's interesting. I don't think a lot of organizations have that, so that's good that you do. You mentioned weekly meetings. So who meets? You meet every week. Does the location move, and who attends the meetings?
Every Monday evening, just Nikki and I meet. We go over what went on the past week, what we're going to do the following week for like an hour or 2. Then, like tonight, I'll meet with Nikki, John, and Jen.
Okay.
Kind of go over stuff in particular stores, and then we also go over stuff for our Thursday morning meeting at 9 o'clock. Typically at our Access 17 store, but that will vary. All the store leaders, Nikki, and if I'm not working my other PD job, I will join them in the morning.
Gotcha.
But that's where everybody gets together each week. Get all the paperwork. Just again, we have like a checklist that we go over. And we found it works out well because nothing ever gets out of control. Like we're on top of things, and if there's issues, we resolve it then. And I'm in constant contact with those guys throughout the week. But it's just nice to get everybody together and brainstorming different things as well.
Nice. How long would a typical Thursday morning meeting last?
If it starts at 9, a lot of times we'll give them like the first 15 minutes to half an hour for their groups to meet, talk about whatever, and then usually within the hour after that.
Nice.
It's like 9 to 10:30, 11 at the absolute most if something's going on, but we want to kind of just get in, get out, and, so we're not really, we want to make so each meeting isn't repetitive. You're not meeting just to meet. There's an objective, get it done, and then, most of them end up working at 11 o'clock in the stores.
Back to your store. Now, Todd Cayley has been your consultant, I think, in all the stores for the entire time, right? So what has Todd's role been for you guys? How important is he in your organization?
Very important. Todd has a good knowledge of marketing. He's very easy to talk to. Just, I guess, ideas about anything. Again, I could text Todd at 9 o'clock at night, and I'll get a response usually 2 seconds later.
Nice.
But it's very good, because a lot of times if we have anything we want to go over, or any ideas, we're running by Todd, and a lot of times he'll have good thoughts of it.
Good.
And most of our stores are in the areas where he is very familiar with, so it comes in very handy. Again, it's more of an asset than just a field consultant.
Good. Excellent.
And he is, one thing I like about Todd too is he's strict, but he's fair. So
Good.
again, he as long as we kind of, if something is wrong and we fix it, he's usually pretty good about it.
Excellent. What role does technology play in your in the communication with your stores?
It's a big role, and again, having Nikki, she does a lot of the technical stuff.
Yep.
We just developed, and we actually copied. Kevin Bro used to have a spreadsheet that he gave to his store leaders every week, and we kind of modified that and did a little more detail. So she developed a spreadsheet where we have past year sales, labor, food. We input all of this week's, and it shows you're up, down. So it kind of gives a good snapshot of where you stand each week. Cell phones, obviously.
Yeah. So all your leaders have cell phones.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of it's texting, because a lot of times we're communicating. We don't know if they're busy in the store, stuff like that. So we do a lot of texting. Besides subway technology, that's pretty much all we do is
And surveillance in the stores. Do you have surveillance
Yes.
in all the stores, and it can be viewed from home?
Yes. Yeah, and actually we've given access to all the store leaders to view their stores as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, a lot of those guys wanted to see that.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Excellent. My next question is, if you could change one thing about Subway, what would you change?
I would say, and I know it's hard because Subway is a big company, but a lot of times when they do roll stuff out, it might not be ready to be rolled out yet.
Say, like the chopped salads, for instance?
Yes. Yeah. Like the Subway University. That
Yes.
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 Overall, I think Subway's a good company. And it's, again, they have a lot of stores that they oversee.
Yeah.
But that may be one thing that.
I'm not going to argue that point. I agree wholeheartedly. If you were not a police officer or a Subway owner, what would you be?
Center field for the Yankees.
Nice. There you go. Excellent. I don't even know who's the center fielder for the Yankees now. I don't even.
Granderson.
Granderson. There you go. All right.
Derek's the big Yankee.
You're probably so long as you don't strike out as often as Granderson, I'm sure you could give him some competition. Home runs and strikeouts.
Yes.
What is your favorite sub?
Probably the tuna sub on a flatbread.
Nice.
I like the tuna and turkey.
Craziest thing that ever happened to you in a Subway? And remember, we may have, young, impressionable minds watching, so if you could...
Oh, that's a tough one.
Or maybe just one crazy thing that, I'm sure, I think you've said to me in the past that you could write a book with all the crazy things that have happened, so...
Oh, yeah, with the development of some of the stores, that's
And remember to shut this off. All right.
I don't even know what to do with this question here.
I think I've stumped you. This is pretty...
I don't know what the answer
I'll
is.
come back to that.
All right.
What actor would play you in the Russ Faden story? No one's ever accused you of being a, hey, you remind me of, Like a Woody Harrelson, maybe?
A lot of people said I look like Russell Cage.
There you go.
Or not Russell Cage. Nicholas Cage.
Nicholas Cage.
Nicolas
All right,
Cage.
good. He's a brooding, interesting
Yes.
guy. I think that's a good choice. Could you help me get out of a speeding ticket?
Yes. I
Okay, good.
One phone call.
Nice, because now that that's on tape, and we'll come back to it. Can we end with a crazy story? Is there some story that you tell a store leader, some story that happened to Nikki or John or you, your dad?
I'm really stumped with this one.
You're stumped.
I am stumped. Something worth mentioning.
As we can hear in the
The
background,
phone
we can hear the phone. That's John LaBelle. I'll be calling him back shortly.
I'm stumped.
You're stumped.
I'm stumped.
All right. So I think I asked more than 20, but thank you. You were a good guest. And would you recommend this experience to other people to be sitting in the chair that you're sitting in?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Derek's a great cameraman over there.
And I didn't pay him $20, so that's Q&A. We're done.